So you have a stabilizing brace, Mr. Bosco. See, this is exactly what we have to avoid, which is some minority of folks trying to silence dissent. Dissent shouldn't be kryptonite. We should have a civil conversation. We should have a spirited exchange of ideas. Mr. Raskin and I do, and I really respect it because he's good and he firmly believes what he believes. I believe a lot of the time differing, but there's a decorum that should be adhered to. So, Mr. Bosco, your brace is not a ghost gun, correct? Is this an insurrection? So will they be held to the same, I don't want another January 6th, do we?
Yeah, if they're trying to overthrow the government, they ought to be held to the same standard, but I think they're trying to express their views.
Whoa. Members out of line.
Point of order. The gentleman's time has expired.
Yeah, and here's a point of order. He wasn't here to begin with. You weren't here to begin with. Ms. Jackson-Lee went 4.5 minutes over. We said that we were going to take, I was going to take 1 additional minute, and Mr. Biggs was going to take 1 additional minute. She went over by 4.5 minutes. Mr. Bosco, officers, can we have this woman removed, please?
We're in recess. She can speak all she wants. We're not. The hearing is not being conducted. We're in recess. We're in recess. She can speak as much as she wants. When you're gavel, that's a different story.
Committee's called to order. This proceeding is called to order. Just a quick note on what had transpired. There are House rules that govern proceedings. Unfortunately, we had some folks that were disruptive during the hearing. We asked Capitol Police to remove them. They were then removed. And then one decided to come back in while we were still gavelled in and disrupted the hearing. That's when we had a recess. Capitol Police were overwhelmed outside in the hallway, and now we're back in session. So I have 1 minute left, and this is what I want to talk about. Dissent is not kryptonite. It's the basis of this nation. I was on a city council, first elected office I had in 2009, and a woman came in. We used to give our citizens 5 minutes to speak, and she came in and told us how awful we were and enumerated the reasons as to why. And I thought that was wonderful. In fact, she ended up writing me a letter, and I put it in a frame, and I put it in my office. And my friends would come in and read it and say, why on earth would you put that in your office? And I said, because she can write that letter knowing, to a government official, knowing in this country that her house isn't going to be burnt down, that her car's not going to be confiscated, that she's not going to have a fear or suffer violence because she simply spoke up to folks that are empowered and elected. And that's the majesty of our representative republic. And we should have a spirited exchange of ideas, which we have had in this committee, and I would imagine over the next hour or so we will continue to have. But to be that disruptive and to be that narcissistic, to breach decorum and disruption shouldn't be applauded, and it sure as hell shouldn't be applauded by members of this committee. That's why I was a little bit shocked that one member did that. So we are now, my time is now expired.
Would the gentleman yield for a moment?
I will not yield. We're just going to move on. Unless you go ahead if you have a quick question.
I just wanted to say this. There's a bill coming up that's based in part, it's a Republican-sponsored bill based on the Loudoun County School Board protests. And the Republicans, I guess, are arguing that that gentleman who was removed from that proceeding was mistreated, and that's part of the FBI weaponization strategy, I guess.
All right, sir. I have absolutely, literally no idea what you're talking about.
Oh,
so, all right. So
let me just say
we're
this.
done. We're done. We're done. No. We're moving on. We're not going to get into this. We can have a discussion all day long. I'll see you on the floor. We can talk all day. Love that, and I think that you can learn from people that disagree with you, and so I have no problem with chatting.
We'll chat
each other up.
When it's time to vote on the Republican bill.
We'll chat each other up. Okay.